My name is on IG at Lisa M. Dublin. I'm also on YouTube, on Facebook. Basically on LinkedIn as well. If you're watching me, good morning. I'm not going to be on for very long. So I actually have two screens. If you see me looking all sorts of places, that's what's going on. But how are you doing this morning? I jumped on because the last while, I usually used to go live at this time. And then life got very busy. But here's the thing, I realized like I'm at my best at this time. So I will kind of have to make it work and continue to go live. So welcome to everybody who's in the club, the To All the Girls Success Club on Facebook. How are you doing? You guys, I want to talk about faith this morning, okay? Because that's what I'm about. And that's what makes life meaningful, being able to not just see what's in front of you, but to see the possibilities and to go after it. So, how you doing? We usually begin, which is why I was talking about faith, with a set of confessions. I am blessed and highly favored. Are you blessed and highly favored this morning? Above only and not beneath, the head and not the tail. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I shall lend and not borrow. And the one that I love the most because it gives you confidence. It gives you that sense of, hey, even though I'm not perfect, I've got enough for the day, for the week, whatever. I have nothing missing and nothing broken. Is that you this morning? Just commanding your thoughts that kind of way gives you success and gives you some kind of handle on the day that you wouldn't have if you were simply just, letting the day just do what it wants with you. No, you need to command that day. You need to start the day with who God says you are because that is the truest measure and the truest image that you have of who you are. You didn't make yourself. Did you make yourself? I don't know if you made yourself. I sure didn't make my own self, right? And because of that, hey T Kyla Foods, how are you doing? So I didn't make myself, and because of that, I've been very careful about going with who made me as opposed to what everybody else says about me. That really doesn't matter. That really doesn't matter because you know what? Person who made you knows you best. So if God says I'm blessed and highly favored, I am blessed and highly favored, and I would shout it to the rooftops. I just came back, returned to Edmonton, Alberta, where I live, from Toronto, where there was a storm, but there were also lovely people. On the weekend, my country, St. Lucia, celebrated, well, the St. Lucia Toronto Association celebrated the 44th anniversary of St. Lucia's independence. We became independent in 1979. And we had this big gala. I was honored to be the keynote speaker, and it was such an honor. Connected with so many people. Let me tell you, there's only one place you're naturally not a stranger. You guys know that, right? There's only one place, even though you have citizenship somewhere else, there's only one place that you were born and it counts for something. And I think for me, there was that kind of renewal in, this is where you're from and this is what it means to be St. Lucian. And I was saying to them, even before I get into my little message today, I was talking about the fact that being small is literally an advantage if you look at it that way. Being small means basically that because of where we came from, being in the Caribbean in very homogenous societies, especially the smaller islands like mine, you saw people around you doing great things. People who looked like you were, in positions of authority. And for me, I'm so happy to have been born there and to have seen that growing up so that when I come to a new country, I'm not going to be settling for what people think I'm supposed to be. I'm going to be on what I know I can be because I have a tradition of seeing people like me doing great things. So head for that. So I was saying that to them and also saying that also too, being from a small island, you also know about resilience. Hey Sharon, how are you doing? I'm saying hi to my Instagram family as well. You also have a history of resilience, and that is exactly what the world needs right now. The world needs resilient people. the world needs people who, when the going gets tough, they rise to the occasion. And I don't know if my friend Vanessa is on today, but shout out to Vanessa Dupe, my friend who lives in Toronto. I met her here in Edmonton many years ago when she was a manager at Walmart. And I, as a new immigrant, I was an overnight stalker and she was a manager. And I was like, wait, how'd you get there? And so we connected and she took me all over Toronto for my 2 day stay. So thank you so much, my friend. And what was remarkable was, hey, here's Arletta. You guys have to tell you about my friend Arletta as well. She's on. Oh my gosh. So Vanessa, let me just put up Arletta's message. Hi, my beautiful, exquisite friend who walks like there's no tomorrow. Oh my gosh. So Vanessa came here as a fully grown adult. She came to Canada. And I'm talking about that whole history of resilience. I meant to talk about it, but my speech just like, I had it in me and I just spoke, right? Which is, oh my gosh, I just loved it. Anywho, Vanessa came here as a full grown adult and having that history of resilience and getting things done. When the pandemic hit, she was already a manager at Walmart. And because of the way she was as a front end manager, she was able to marshal resources and people together to handle the pandemic. She ended up being the manager of the year of Western Canada in Walmart in 2021. I mean, testimony to resilience, testimony to knowing that you have a history of being able to endure. That's what we have from the Caribbean. I insist on that. And then that takes me to the third thing, which is related to the journey of faith, that you also have imagination for borders. If you're from a small place, it's literally that, okay, I'm standing on my country looking out because this is my border. We live in a borderless world, I think, and if you take advantage of it, then you're better for it. So that was basically my message, well received, and I was so happy to connect with so many people. And thank you, Arletta. Thank you for the invitation and for making it possible. My friend here, Arletta, is a heavyweight, hands down. I'll post some photos later. You'll see what I'm talking about. Okay. Just a heavyweight. And I'm like blessed to have reached out to her many years ago, a couple years ago. And she just literally has continues to change my life. So thank you for that. So, you guys, I want to talk about faith this morning and about stepping out. I am pretty sure there is perhaps even one person here who is believing God for something impossible. Oh, you praying and you're wanting this and you're doing all sorts of things silently and just believe in God. What does that look like? What is believing God like? Let me just see what the comments are in the club. Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. So, yeah, you're believing God for something. There's an element to believing, to having faith that I am powerfully exercising right now in my life. Okay? There's a verse in Hebrews chapter 11. It says that faith is the substance of things hoped for. It is the evidence. You just woke up, Sharon? Okay. It is the evidence of things not seen. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Okay? I like to compare faith and that entire journey to, for those of us who've been blessed to have become pregnant, and when you get a positive pregnancy test, you stop praying for the child, you stop praying to get pregnant, don't you? Then you start praying for the baby, for safe delivery. You start to get your clothes. In the Caribbean, we have, hey Avril, how are you? In the Caribbean, you have what you call a hospital bag. Anybody had a hospital bag? you know a bag that you pack long before. Back in the day, you had to put Bayram and you had to put Lord. Thank God things are more simple right now. But the point is, you begin to act differently when you get a positive pregnancy test. And if you're part of the club, the To All the Girls Facebook group, um, if you are part of the club, I did a presentation a couple weeks ago on the substance of things hoped for. That when you get that positive pregnancy test, you act differently. So if I've been believing God for a child, and I happen to get pregnant, I have a positive pregnancy test. I don't continue to pray, oh God, give me a baby, because I know that in a couple months I'm going to have a baby for the most part. And, at this point, I always like to say that God is sovereign, because I do know people who have gotten pregnant, gotten the positive pregnancy test, believed, and hey, my friend Anselm, how you doing? Good morning, right? Right. So the thing is that and didn't deliver. So I want to preface everything with that God is sovereign, but you still have a responsibility to believe. There will be cases where he might bring you to that point and it doesn't happen. But for the most part, most of us don't even get to the point of believing God for something and then acting on it. Let me just take my friend Anselm's comment this morning. And Anselm says, good morning. Lisa, my approach to faith is simple. We expect our heart to keep beating, don't we? That to me is the most basic understanding evidence of my faith. Yeah. And you just keep on doing it. Is that it? That makes sense to me. So you have a positive pregnancy test and your prayers begin to change. And for me, like when we have, and you ask God for something and you believe you're going to get it, there's a way that you act to ensure that you get it and to ensure that you believe that that thing is going to pass. I always tell the story of my friend back in the day when I studied at the University of the West Indies in Trinidad. Anybody from St. Augustine in the house? And I had this friend from Barbados and full of faith. And at that time, everybody's renting apartments all over the place. And my friend wanted a desk, a study desk, and she didn't have one. This is what she did in her apartment. I still remember upstairs, you had to go up the stairs. It was an upstairs apartment. And she wanted this desk so badly. And she was believing God. She wanted the Father was going to bless her with the desk. She cleared a space in her living room for the desk. She did. Because if I'm believing God for something, I've got to prepare for it. You guys remember people from the 80s, 90s, like I am, or 80s, from Michael Jackson's days, okay? There was a video, I think it was Off the Wall or something. He had a music video where everywhere he stepped, it lit up. You guys remember that? There was a video, hey Elizabeth, good morning to you. Everywhere he stepped, it lit up. If he didn't step out, which is the topic today, if he didn't step out, it didn't light up. And that is how his path became clear. By taking one step, it lit up. Then the next step lit up. Of course, that was the theatrics of Michael Jackson fall down, faint when you see him kind of thing. It was part of the theatrics. But for me, that is a powerful analogy of how you approach faith and how you need to step out and to know that if this is going to happen, then you literally have to do something to show that you believe. Step out. Many of us are just simply waiting for the thing to fall into our hands, thinking that that is how faith is going to work. No, faith is going to work when you activate it by acting upon what you believe is going to happen. That's exactly how it works. That's exactly how it works. So, what are you believing for today? Right? There's a story of a woman who was in a prayer group, and a little old lady was in a prayer group of in a place where they were believing God for rain. Oh my goodness, falling on the floor, rolling all over, people coming, ting, ting, coming to this prayer group every day praying for rain. The rain didn't come until this old lady, the next day, she walked with her umbrella. Because if I'm expecting rain, I need to prepare for it. That's how it works. And when I was thinking about this little topic this morning, here's what came to me. I love to guard my thoughts. I love to protect my mental space because it is the most powerful thing that we have. And the reason I say that is because in thinking about this topic, I realize that a lot of us, we don't have the faith and we don't exercise it because we are so crowded in with the negativity of the world, with what if, what has gone before, what has happened to me, etc., etc. You guys, if you're commenting, I apologize. I want to bring up all of the comments, but I'm not seeing them. Anywho, all right. Hey, Antonia, good morning. It's all of these things that crowd you out. So when that You have to lock yourself in when you believe in God for something. Lock in with the word of God. What is God saying about the situation? Right? Because his word, he's going to honor his word above his name. That's what the Bible says. And if you're going that route, like there are other routes to get what you want, but this one is the surest one. This one is the superlative. This one is the most excellent. This one works without any of the repercussions of having to sell your soul and your family and all of that. No, good vibes. Stay with God. Okay. Right? That's all I have to say. But the thing is, you have to lock yourself in. Locking yourself in with what God says about your situation and what you believe in God for is literally being able to be in the world and not of it. Okay? To be in a different mindset, running, it's like, let me see what it's like. It's perhaps like the rest of the world is still running on what's it? Windows DOS? And you just there on a different mindset, a different operating system. And it is that operating system that is literally going to get your entire world to line up and conform with what you first have up there. You can't be with everybody, saying what everybody says, doing what everybody does, and expect to get a different result. The way I like to look at faith is find what God says about it, believe it, get that assurance in your spirit. In the club, we have a teaching on that in terms of there's a sense when you get an assurance in your spirit, a caught upness, I like to get it that yes, I'm getting this. And if you're sure and you're certain and you absolutely know that you're gonna get what God said you're gonna get, begin to act like it. Begin to prepare for it. Begin to speak as if you already have it. Don't bother with the people who are laughing. No, no. Actually, literally, here's what's gonna happen. You stepping out in faith and speaking things that be not as though they were, what it's going to do when you finally get the thing that people didn't think you would, but you kept on confessing, then it's going to change their own lives. And they're going to realize that, hey, this is the way that you go about getting from God. So, no, lock yourself into that mindset of this is what God says. I'm going after it. And I don't care. No, I don't. You have to be that way, okay? You guys, I'm sorry if I'm not seeing your comments. It's not for. I'm gonna go in afterwards for a little bit and kind of talk to everybody. But that was what I wanted to talk about this morning. As I said, you'll probably be seeing me at this time a little more because this is when I'm at my best. I tried going live about 7 o'clock in the evening, but because I wake up so early, you guys, number one. I have nothing left at that time. So I'm like, let me just return to my familiar. This is when I'm at my best. This is when I can connect with people, whoever's on. Basically, yeah, I guess that's who I'll connect. And also, you can join the replay afterwards. And so that's what I wanted to leave with you this morning. Step out in faith. You don't know that you believe something until you act on it, until you begin to prepare for it. Because if I know that this is what I'm going to be getting, number one, the price changed from I need it to I have it. Therefore, if I have it, how is it going to look in my life? And then the evidence of the thing not seen is you preparing your life to receive it. So last thing, and I know I am on all platforms this morning, and perhaps some things don't apply, but I don't really buy that because even in a professional setting, maybe I'm thinking of LinkedIn, even in a professional setting, it's not just about work because work integrates with every other part of your life. So you want every part of your life to be excellent. So, yeah, I'm going to speak about this right there too. Let's say you believe in God for a partner. That's a very common one, right? Start to prepare. Start to, I'll never forget, like, anyway, let's leave that alone. Start to prepare for your partner. Where's this person going to be? Where are you going to live? How are you going to look? How's it going to be? All of these things. It doesn't just drop. It doesn't just drop in your lap. So, because I'm from an island, this is my last analogy. If you're on the beach, right, and you're digging in the sand, the digger the hole you dig, the deeper the hole you dig is the more water comes in. It's not so if you don't dig that hole, if there's no evidence of you preparing for the water, for the harvest, for the thing that you're believing for, if there's no evidence of you digging and preparing, water's going to pass you by. But if you dig a hole deep enough, then the seawater just comes all in and fills that hole. It's the same way in the preparation for the thing that you've prayed for. You need to prepare for it. You need to act on the faith that, hey, I've got this. That's what faith is about. And that's when God sees and he honors you being able to trust him enough to look a fool for him. Okay? Tell people about it. Anyway, folks, I wanted to tell you, let's end now. And so I'm opening up registration for my two programs that will be beginning at the end of the month. I am so excited for these two programs, and here they are. This is my Speak with Confidence happening March 30th to April 27th. It is going to be lit. It's going to be the kind of program, let me just hide message. It's going to be the kind of program that teaches you a thing. It's like reading a bicycle. You learn how to speak confidently. In this program, you forever after will be speaking confidently. Okay? Because it literally unlocks something in you that teaches you to present yourself authentically and to be okay with getting up on stage or doing a live presentation or speaking to people you don't know or taking on a new role. And here's the thing, let me take this out now. And here's the thing that I've found happens, right? That people come in to speak with confidence. And oh, by the way, before I tell you about what's going to happen, here's the other one: speak and sell. So this one will be for business people, people who are the face of their small business, because there's a way that you speak to attract people to you and to what you're doing. So my IG people can't see this. I apologize, but I will put up the links afterwards, right? There's a way that you speak to attract people, to get them not to, it's not manipulation. What it is being able to entice people and to be curious about what are you selling and what is it what are you about. I want to find out a little more. Many of us have answers to people's problems, but we are afraid. Why are you afraid? If you have an answer, if I know I can help you, I will shout it to the rooftops. Which is why I'm saying to you, come in to speak with confidence and come in to speak and sell, because that ability to speak is going to spill over into other areas of your life. Every year, I just marvel, tears come to my eyes. For Speak with Confidence, this will be cohort 6. And every year, we have such amazing success stories of people who not only learn how to speak confidently in their own milieu, but that confidence spills over into other areas of their lives, right? And I ran Speak and Sell in another format. Well, it didn't even have a name then, but I had my first cohort last year, and they were able to push their sales and become the face of their business and to do it confidently without the self-consciousness of, oh, I'm peddling or people don't want what I have. No, it's not even a matter of the sales. It's a matter of answering a problem and going out with that energy that, hey, if you come into my program, you will learn how to speak confidently. That confidence you will be able to use in every other area of your life. Why not come in? That's just what it is. So I'll put up the links. You can go to my website. Let me see if I have the captions there. If you go to my website, you'll be able to let me take off that ticker. Go to my website and you can see more about the course right there. So basically, that's it for me this morning. Step out in faith is the main part of everything that I said. Step out in faith until you do something to show that you believe you're going to get what you said you're going to get from God. You don't believe it. That's it. That's it. Okay? You test your faith. You test whether you believe or not by what you're doing right now about the thing that you said you're praying about. So you're praying for rain. Are you carrying that umbrella? Until you carry the umbrella, the rain is not going to come. That's it. Okay? All right, folks. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. I'll put out a link if I'm going to be on tomorrow. I'll put out a link today once I kind of figure things out. That's what it is. But thank you for listening. Shoot me an email. No, don't shoot me an email. Don't shoot me. Send me an email or a text to let me know what you want to hear about, whether this impacted you. I'll try my best to respond to you. Have a great day, everybody. See you. Bye bye.